Hi guys, welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Today we're back with part 3 of making Oddbods. We're going to start by making the headpiece, and we're going to start with a magic circle with 6 stitches. For round 2, you're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. You're going to do this pattern 2 times. For round 3, we're going to do single crochet in all stitches. For round 4, we're going to do single crochet in all stitches, but at the last stitch you're going to switch your yarn to white yarn. For the remainder of this project, we'll be doing single crochet in all stitches, but I'll walk you through each section for the color changes. So for round 5 to 7, we're going to do single crochet in all stitches. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. From round 8 to round 10, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in your base yarn. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. From round 11 to round 13, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in white. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. For round 14 to 16, you're going to be using single crochet in all stitches in your base yarn. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. For round 17 to 19, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in white. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. For round 20 to 22, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in your base yarn. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. For round 23 to 25, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in white. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. For round 26 to 28, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in your base yarn. Make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. For round 29 to 31, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in white. make sure you switch your yarn for the next section. Yay, you made it the home stretch. For round 32 to 34, you're going to do single crochet in all stitches in your base yarn. You can also cut the white yarn now. Cut your base yarn, but leave a long tail for sewing. Take out your pipe cleaners, I used to, twist it around and reinforce it together like this. And then you're gonna stuff it into the antenna or the headpiece. Once you have it in the headpiece, you can actually curl it up and keep it in this shape. You're going to repeat all the steps again and make a second one. Now we're going to start on the face. I start by cutting out pieces out of paper and then I place them to see if they're the right size and shape. Once I deem that it's the right shape and size, I go and take the paper and trace it onto my felt pieces. So I traced a 2 circle and that's going to be the white part of the eye. The 3rd circle is going to be the lid. I'm just going to cut it in half. Now we're going to work on the eyebrows. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our paper and we're going to trace it. We're going to see that on my felt piece it's going to be shiny. That's my stabilizer. You don't have to have a stabilizer. I just had it for another project. I traced the 2 eyebrows onto the felt and I realized after a while that I needed to retrace it without the stabilizer because if I flip it on the other side, the shiny side would show up instead. So off camera I traced it another one, but you only needed 2 without the stabilizer. Sorry for the long comment. Next we're going to trace out the pupil. I had a scrap piece of black felt, so I'm just going to trace it on there so I don't waste any materials. Last but not least, we're going to trace out the cheeks. Before we glue on the felt pieces, we're going to sew on the face first. You can see here I'm using my crochet hook to help me finish off the sewing. I didn't cut a long enough tail, so to avoid that, make sure you cut a long tail for that part. Okay, so the next part we're going to be gluing the pieces of felt together. I use hot glue for this. I have a tweezer, but you don't need to use a tweezer. I just know that I'm going to burn myself. A pair of scissors to clean up any extra strand from the glue. To create the smile, we're going to thread the black yarn into the doll from the side first. Then using the black pupil as a marker, we're going to thread the black yarn underneath the center of the pupil about 2 rows down. Then we're going to complete the smile by using the other eye as a marker. Same thing under the center of the pupil, but this time 1 row higher to create this smirk. You're going to finish off making sure that the out piece is coming out the same hole of the in piece, and then tying it off and then pulling it through the doll so it's hidden. The next part we're going to do is sew on the arms. Right here you can see that I am using some pins to adjust and make sure that I have the right height. I want it to be in the same level as the cheeks. When sewing on your hand, make sure the shortest finger is pointing out towards the face and then the longest finger is pointing to the back. So the next piece we're going to do the head piece, the antenna. I again try to pin it down to see the placement before I actually sew it down and make it permanent. So now I'm thinking this placement is good and I'm going to just sew it down on the top of the head. Here you can see that I'm not actually tucking in the tail for sewing because I'm going to use that tail to later on secure the curls at the top of the head. You'll see what I mean. we're going to turn our Oddbod and then we're going to sew on the buttons at the back. Okay, last dress and final details. We're gonna put in the stitching for the doll. I try to center it as much as I could with 6 stitches in between. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see how I make the top part for the other Oddbods. And that's it. That's how you make Oddbod. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Like and subscribe for more tutorials in the future.